In the void, where the warp winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Grave wardens stir, betrayal takes shape, Typhon's whispers sealing their fate. Navigators lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight, chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide, Mortarian's pride, with nowhere to hide. The destroyer plague, a grim reward, Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Mortarian stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The legion reborn, their fate revealed. Lies in the armor, rot in the soul. A Primarch remade, his heart grown cold. In terror's shadow, their war drums beat. Pestilent warriors, no chance of retreat. Through breach and ruin, their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The Lion's Gate, where hope was torn. Jagged ties, blade meets the Plague-born. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Typhus herald, chaos born, Mortarian's wrath, the plague sworn. In the warp, their legacy thrives, eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarians fall, Typhus ascends, the death god song, it never ends.
And hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Disgusting Resilient Podcast, and another, I keep saying a special episode, and we keep getting special episodes in a row, but I'm not alone even today. Hello Mr. Dave, welcome back from your holiday.
Yeah, I'm back from the White Lotus filming. It was really good, thank you. Can't tell anyone any of the spoilers for next season, but I can tell you that it is good.
He just promises it's at least good, at least. Did you enjoy your break, Mr. Dave?
I did, thanks, Aiden. Yeah, it was really good. Had a lovely time off. Yeah, just spent some good time with the family and having a bit of downtime, which is good. But most importantly, got to come back to some really good news.
And good news indeed. I mean, I sort of woke up in the middle. So I had this funny thing. I woke up in the middle of the night because Kirby's not been too well. And he woke up in the middle of the night because he had to go in the garden. And then when I got back in bed, I checked my phone and it was like 20 minutes until the reveal stream. So I was just like, well, I'm not going to go back to bed now, am I? So I stayed up. I am paying for it though. Like I have been absolutely knackered today, but worth Actually, one of the reveal streams I actually think I might say worth to. Like, genuinely show off quite a lot of things.
Yeah, it was good. And I think the two things I found funny today was in timings that you and I had at the same time. One was we were both typing in the WhatsApp at the same time about reveal this morning, and then how we both dropped a reminder that said like, "Do you guys want a stream tonight?" at exactly the same second in two different places in the Discord. That was really good.
Quite literally, it was pretty damn funny.
And by the way, have you seen how many Kirby's were reacted to in the announcement?
I actually didn't. Let me look. Go
and have a look. It's crazy.
I can't look. I can't look because it's using Discord stream.
I'll tell you. I did a Wolf of Wall Street pump up those numbers, right? And the guys responded really, really strongly. So let me just go back into.
I saw that Kirby spam in the chat.
We had 129 Kirby likes.
Hell yeah. That's a good amount of Kirby's, and there's some more Kirby's in the chat for us. But I forgot completely. Hello and welcome to this Discussion.
Hello, chat. Yeah, sorry,
hello, chat.
Just me and Aiden catching up.
Just me and Dave on a bit of a catch up. If you are new here, hello, welcome. My name's Aiden. This is Mr. Death Guard Dave. We are Discussing Resilient podcast. We are a Death Guard focused. Well, pretty much. Like I'd say at this point, we could probably say we are the Death Guard channel.
I think we are the Death Guard channel.
I think we've secured that title at the moment. And yeah. We obviously talk about all things to do with Death Guard, even a little bit more chaos, and obviously it's quite an interesting time to be a Death Guard player because we all know looming on the horizon is our Codex, of which after last night we now know exactly what it's going to look like.
We certainly do.
Which I am super happy, and we'll get into that in a second. And today's episode we're going to be going through with each other and obviously with the stream and the chat. Hello chat. And we're going to be looking at all the reveals from Adepticon. All the relevant ones anyway, so we still look at like the Thousand Suns World League and stuff like that. But I'm not going to go look at like the old world Cathay stuff. It's cool, don't worry, it's really cool. But we're going to try and
stay in the future.
Yeah, we stay in the future, but it is really cool. I had no idea what the Kirby was, so I just clicked that. Kirby is the dog face that is being spammed in the chat right now. That is my dog. And no, we're not doing a 2-hour orc rant again. I've done enough of them recently.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, but if you do enjoy the content on the channel, please remember to leave the like button. Go press that like button. Do it right now.
Press the like button.
Do it.
Yeah, and even more importantly, press the subscribe button.
That also helps. Get us towards that 10,000 goal, where I will unfortunately have to eat cheese as a forfeit because I hate cheese. And if you really enjoy the channel, you can consider becoming a Play Green member. It costs £3 a month, less than a cup of coffee these days. Probably a little bit less than even your holiday, I think, Dave.
Yeah, probably. I would say, but that $2.99 will get you into the Discord, which you can find on the members tab, and once you're in there. Trust me, that $2.99 for what is behind the door into the Plague Planet that is our Discord channel is well worth it. You'll find I think it's now 770 odd members now, all who are passionate Death Guard players, people who have got experience in other armies, who are all willing to just chat about everything from new players' needs to list like bouncing ideas off of strategies, ideas, people sharing their competitive experiences at tournaments. It's a brilliant place, and if you really should go and join it.
Definitely consider giving that a join. But let's get into the meat and potatoes, Mr. Dave. So, where do we even start? Do you want
to say hi to chat first, or should we?
That is a great point. Let us say hello to the old chat around. How are we all doing in the chat? How is everybody doing? It's good to see you all here. A lot of common names that we see, a lot of regulars. It's good to see you back. Some new faces as well, Sean, which is really nice to know. Eyes on Board Games says he really wants to know when the Codex is coming out. Mate, don't wait all, but hopefully soon. It's got to be damn soon at this point. But yeah, I would love to have a set on date, but unfortunately, the way GW operates, you will be told literally the weekend before it comes out for pre-order.
Well, and as one of the things we'll talk about in here, there was a certain group who like to have long braided beards with bone runes all over them who came out of nowhere, and we didn't get told about that one.
Yeah, apparently those fellas are now the new Raven Guard sneaking up on you, maybe Alpha Legion for that sake. But I mean, I'm still happy for them. I'm happy for everyone to get their armies. Everyone, don't get me wrong, as much as we're passionate about Death Guard, there's a passionate player out there for every army. So we shouldn't be upset that other people have got their stuff as well. We should all be happy that everyone's getting the stuff. I understand certain things, but we'll get into that. Don't worry, we'll get into that. But yeah, it's good to see everybody in the chat. That Typhus cover looks great, says Hugh Janus. The collector's edition, I have some feelings about. I've got some feelings about that collector's edition. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try and get my hands on one of them bad boys.
Thinking about that, and it's going to make me put a cushion on my lap.
No, not Emperor's Children, Dave. Bad. Naughty.
Oh yes, sorry.
Someone saying Death Guard Dave looking jacked and tanned. Given the words.
That's cute as well. Again, yeah, well, tan definitely, and not. I wouldn't say jack's a bit far, but I can now do a pull up. That's what I've been training to do. So I'm trying to do more. So maybe that's that.
Nice. So, well, let's get into it because people are very hungry for us to get into it. So let's go for it. Let's go from where should we touch on first, Dave? Do you want to touch on the mission pack, or do you want to touch into like the chaosy stuff?
Let's do mission pack first, because then I think we do that bit first in a little light touch way, and then we can get into the chaos stuff.
Okay, so we know that we're about due sort of for a new sort of chapter approved. These are the mission decks, or prior Nexus being the current one. So they have announced that the next one is coming out. It is just called chapter approved mission deck. Whether that is just a placeholder name and they're going to change it. Yep. The artwork I think is the Necromund Gauntlet artwork, so it could change.
It looks like it.
It could change like Necromund Gauntlet, but it looks like we're gonna have a nice refresh. Hopefully, they'll finally learn to remove Mark for Death from this deck, which is a terrible secondary, or at least make it not scribble first turn. So we should expect some changes to see secondaries and how the missions play. There's now two different kinds of like deploying this. There's the symmetrical ones, and there's now the asymmetrical ones. Yeah. I'm gonna say on a guess right now, we're not gonna see the asymmetrical for competitive play.
No.
Yeah, they're there for you to have fun on your casual games and so. And obviously, people might play competitive with them, but it will not become a tournament staple. So that's definitely something more for the more casual tables, or people playing, for narrative purposes and things like that. And that's totally cool. There's nothing wrong with that. These decks shouldn't just be about the competitive tournament players, even though we are them. Like, everyone needs to have fun with this. So, cool to see another way to play for the sort of like more sort of casual player base. Now, these ones are interesting. Secret missions are going away. Now, I'm not too upset about this because it's a Death Guard. I don't think I've ever scored one ever. I don't think I've ever done them. We're not the greatest at them. Let's say that for sure. Like, no, don't worry. Sometimes you can sneak a Nurgle in the back line.
What do you mean? You mean have 3 battle line units in your enemy's deployment zone? No.
Chuck, have more Tyrant on your opponent's home objective. I don't think you can get there. Like, going around all the buildings at 10-inch speed. So they're now out, and instead what we're going to see is a challenger cards element. And this is interesting because these actually, when we read them, which we'll get into in a second, they are not as good catch-up mechanics as, say, a secret mission can pull you 20 points out of nowhere in the final round. That's gone now, which I'm kind of happy about, because to me, if you're losing the primary mission because your opponent's beating you on the primary mission, like, you should lose the mission because that is the entire mission. You shouldn't just get to basically sod off the mission and do your own little random objective now. So instead, what we're getting now is you're basically getting you can pull out if I think it's 6 victory points behind, I think it says. Yep, you're trying by 6 victory.
6 victory points or more.
Yeah, basically you get a card that gives you a 1 use only 3 stratagem, or a 1 use only basically extra secondary that you can score, and they're really easy, like real fucking easy to score. So you basically get to choose between something that's going to impact the game in a sort of like gameplay sense, or just a way to sort of narrow that point gap and a fairly easy restriction. So if you look at the first card, we've got Force of Breach. I'm just going to zoom in for the chat to see. So we go. So you basically get a choice between the stratagem here or the mission. So the mission will start with, because it's really easy to explain. So secure extraction zone. So in your shooting phase, have 1 unit from your army that is not within your deployment zone and is within 9 inches of a battlefield. So basically, it's a single containment. That's all it is. And it's an action. Yeah, it is an action, so you still got action to do it, but it just flat out scores you free, just like that. So if you're looking at a really tight game and you just want those 3 victory points to catch up, or maybe you've had a bit of dead draws early, like you had a bad turn when you got marked for death, an overwhelming force turn 1, you might just want to use that to get 3 victory points. Or instead, you can use Force of Breach stratagem, which in this case picks one of your units, and each time that unit makes a normal advance move, it can go clean through buildings. Now, actually, that can genuinely quite impactful on a game. Yeah, because now
3 VP for the opportunity of what that could give you.
Yeah, I mean, Mortarion just busting through a wall, okay. Even
out staying on a primary, denying your opponent in their turn, potentially giving it to you in your next, it's.
Yeah. It's not even that. It's the crazy plays you could do. Imagine if you had a Land Raider with guys in it. Now he busts through your middle L in the UKTC. Yep. Now you bust through your opponent's middle L and drop your Death Shroud straight onto their home objective. Like, that's That's a spicy
Spicy.
meatball. So let's have a look at the second option here. So once again, a really easy to score. Just have an unit from your army that is more than 15 inches away from all your units from your army. So not as easy, but relatively easy still. You know.
Yeah.
Again, 3 victory points. Boom. Or you can basically give a unit in the shooting or fight phase rerolls to hit and wound of 1, which again is actually a really nice output increase. Like, God, I'd love that on some, like, you know, unit of Plague Marine, something just to help them be a bit more consistent sometimes. And
Yeah, it could be a really critical play, and you could just suddenly pop that one off and get it. And also the bottom one, being 15 inches away from all other units in your army, if you've suddenly, say, got one or two cultists left, and they've passed the battle shock test or whatever, and suddenly that's a super easy unit to be as far away from anything as you need it. So that suddenly, you know, it doesn't even have to be a starting whole unit. It could just be one model or a couple of models left.
yeah, so I mean, I think I prefer these two secondary missions. Because I feel like you doesn't just give your opponent a free 20 victory points if they have like an army that can easily like fulfill it. Like we've got armies that can move a battle line unit like 20 inches in a turn. Like it's very easy for them to just hide that all game and last turn put it in your deployment zone and they get 20 points. Like and it's so hard for certain armies to stop.
Yeah, and you saw people playing right that from the beginning. Just you know that was what was going to. That
Hypercrit was one of the main reasons securities they had to get nerfed.
It just did it every single time. Yeah,
yeah, because you could just sit Silent King last turn, pick him up, put him down on your opponent's whole objective. Cool.
And it also says. It was just at the beginning that trading by 6 victory points or more at the start of a battle round.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Not the third or the fourth or the fifth. A battle round.
Oh, okay, that's quite interesting.
So technically, you could be 6 points down after your opponent's turn 1.
Oh, yeah, that's quite interesting. So if you don't have a good turn when they do, then you can pull out one of these cards and be like, cool. These could be quite interesting. Now, obviously, there's a potential that they could be a bit too strong, but again, we'll address that.
Yeah.
But
we haven't seen the rest either.
What I'll say is, currently, when I play Death Guard, I basically sometimes when I'm behind, I'll consider a secret mission, and then I'll laugh at how stupid I was even considering that stupid thing, and then I'll carry on as normal. Whereas these are genuinely like, well, again, you don't have to give up your primary to do it; you just get to do it. So we're actually going to get to use some of these, which is going to be real nice for us to, you know, sort of. When you're behind, sometimes the only way to get back into a game is to go for like a Hail Mary play. And these stratagems really genuinely might help you pull that off and get back into the game. So it could be quite interesting to keep an eye on.
Are they random draws or can you
I don't
choose
know.
It doesn't specify that. I would assume that they're going to be you might have to pull it because otherwise there's a, you know, like if you, I think someone in chat was just talking about, I can't wait to do this with Angron. And you're like, yeah, if you could pick it, then suddenly it becomes actually mega powerful.
Yes.
But if you draw it and you have to hope that you get something that's helpful, it looks like basically if you draw it, there's a good chance you could do one or the other, or you could definitely, there's a good chance of getting the score for 3. But if you could pull it and select it, actually it could become a really just potentially an overpowered movement tool.
Yeah.
You know, if you already had crazy movement and then you pulled that out as well and got another 7, 8, 9 inches of movement. It could be too much, though.
We've got Necros coming in saying that, hey, does this count for the bingo card? We've got a Kool-Aid Man stratagem, which technically is not wrong.
Yeah, if it's in the Codex, it counts.
Okay, we'll hold him to that. But so yeah, I mean that's all they've really got to share on this. So we obviously know they'll probably rework some of the secondaries. They always do a little bit, and we'll see maybe some new missions. Hopefully we can get rid of stuff like what's it called? What's the awful one where you basically score nothing? Burden.
Yeah. And of trust, the one that everyone loves.
Yeah, it's so bad. So yeah, I'm excited to see that. It's nice. It keeps the game fresh. So I'm always cool to see the mission pack itself get updated. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool to know that that's coming out. I didn't think they'd even touch on that, but to see them actually come out and address it is really nice. So
by the way, 126 people watching.
Oh, nice. My viewer account is bugged on my stream, so I have no idea. So hello, 126 people. That's
hello,
awesome
126 people. Good to see you.
So Eddie Teddy, no one actually knows the release dates unless GW have said it. Anything you have heard is absolute just guessing. We don't know anything.
And anyone who's looking at any of the maps that have got the date in orders of them, all I would say is take all of those graphics with a total pinch of salt because they've been in all different orders in loads of different articles. So I wouldn't say that just because they're in an order left to right on a graphic right now means that that's definitely the order they're coming out in. But as Aiden said, we don't we don't know for sure. So anything you hear from us is conjecture.
Yeah, it's basically like the easiest way I can say it is it's out when it's out. That's all we can really say, unfortunately. Yep. It is out genuinely when it is out. So that's the chapter preview mission deck, so that was cool to see.
Nice.
So let's go on. Let's rip the band-aid off. Come on, let's have a look at some chaos stuff. We've known for a little bit now that all the chaos armies were getting their books one after the other, which is really cool to see. So the hour of chaos is upon thee. So
it certainly is.
We got up first on the article, we got the World Eaters who are getting a new leader for their 8-bound, which is kind of terrifying because 8-bound like already hit real hard, and now they're going to get this guy who looks even crazier. And apparently
looks even crazier, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently this guy can also resurrect 8-bound. So I imagine it's going to be
Vanguard Junior. Look at him; he's got like all the cables coming out the back of his head, and like
Vanguard Junior. I'm just going to say, I don't know if anyone in the chat knows this, but did anyone here play the old Warhammer Age of Reckoning sort of like MMO where there was a class for the Chaos guys called the Marauder, and he could mutate his arm into weapons, and that is literally like what one of them was. So like I get big vibes from that, and it is really, really cool to see that. So it's a cool that they got a new character to sort of join that. I understand a bit of frustration from the World Eaters who wanted like the second wave to come out. Don't forget you are getting the Kill Team box as well. Hopefully they will get the 40k rules every other Kill Team box has. So you should be able to, have like that weird unit of like Bloodletter, Inspired Jackals. I know some people like Cavalry and Butch Surgeon, but all in good time. You will get more stuff eventually. I think the one thing that we're going to see this edition, potentially from what we saw from EC book as well, is I think they're going to use this edition to really identify and diversify the God Legions to make us all our own like specific things. So that's why like Emperor's Children didn't get the praise. I don't think they want EC to have long range shooting in that kind of regard. I think they want to like use the speed, and I think they're going to really identify that, solidify that identity for the armies, and then going forward, then you'll start seeing all these new units come in, which is really cool. So I mean, it's a cool looking model. It does look hench as balls. Cool. So I like it. Again, we're not World Eater players, so if the World Eater players are happy with this, excellent. I'm glad for you. If you're not, then
I hope they are.
I'm sorry.
And Aiden, do you want to touch on what you were saying about before the stream about volume of models coming out?
Yeah, so I understand there's a lot of people who are like upset with like the volume of Chaos models that are coming out, and they feel like the favoritism's flat. I understand that, but for anyone that's been playing this hobby for like a long time, like this is kind of normal. Like it's very normal for you to just get like a character. It's very rare for us to get like a full new unit, and some people are saying like, oh, Chaos got nothing. We just got an entire Emperor's Children army, guys. You can't complain that hard. like come on. Like I knew we were just getting our character 100%, like, and that was fine with me because we have an awesome range, and we still have an awesome range of models, and that's not going to go anywhere. Like, so I'm still like super happy. Like, don't get me wrong, would I have loved to see some like Plague Havocs? Of course, yeah, of course. But all things in due time. Now, people are saying, oh, but all the Space Wolves got all these new things. No, they didn't. They actually only got one new unit. The rest of them are just actually like upgrades of like existing kits. They're just new kits, and like, I'm not gonna lie, if you go put a Plague Marine next to an old Bloodclaw, it looks like me next to Dave. It's a little bit small, so yeah, like they needed those upgrades badly. So I don't consider them as new kits for them. They are new kits technically, but they are upgrades which were desperately needed because people want to play their chapter specific models. Like we'd want to play Plague Marines. If we could take Legionnaires, I'd still want to take Plague Marines because that's our unit.
Yeah, sure.
But when our Plague Marines look like toddlers next to the new Legionnaire kit, I'd be like, I suddenly now don't want to play with that. And so to have your like iconic like chapter units like not be like the true scale like the rest of it, I totally understand why they're all getting upscaled. So the actual only new unit they got was the Head Takers, I think they're called, which looks sick, by the way. And we'll get into them soon. But don't be upset with like the amount we got. I understand completely. Like we all want to see our own models get released and get tons of new stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like also let's just touch on something. Like I just want to say, all these this just read down here that their book here, this lovely World Eaters book, 5 detachments, 5. That's a good amount. That's a good amount of detachments. That 1,000 Sun book, Dave. How many detachments? 5 detachments.
5 detachments.
Pretty good, right? That Death Guard book, Dave. How many detachments? 6 detachments, because we're better than you, and we know it.
And with the Grotmas one, brings us up to the magic number.
It does, and we are reaching our blessed number 7. Thank you
We
very
certainly
much,
are.
Lazy Chicken, for the gifted membership there.
Yes.
It went to Papa Nurgle himself, retrieved that.
I know, of all
membership.
the good time if what we're talking about. And Papa Noggle, thank you for saying thank you.
I appreciate it, Mr. Papano. So yeah, get yourself in the Discord. Again, if you do become a member, make sure you go to our YouTube channel homepage.
Yep.
There'll be a post tab. Go to that, scroll down, you'll find a link to get in the Discord now, because you'll be able to see it because you're a member. Once you're in there, just link your YouTube to your Discord, and it unlocks the entire server. And just remember, anyone that is maybe considering becoming a member, I'll do that in a second, Dave. Basically, it's a one and done if you want to be. You don't have to keep supporting us. You can. Obviously, we'd obviously appreciate if you pay the monthly fee. But we're never going to kick someone out.
No.
So if you want to pay £3 just to get in the Discord server so you can join in, and then that's it, totally fine. You've supported us once. You are more than welcome to stay in that server for your entire life. We never boot people. And also, I'll be honest with you, I haven't got the effort to sit there and go through everybody and be like, "You've not got membership, get out of here." So yeah, so if you do consider it, and it can literally be as cheap as a single payment of £3 forever. The difference obviously being that for people who do recur pay, they get access to the giveaways and the plague surgery and things like that.
Yeah, and it's just one thing. Like, so if you go in there and you like what's happening with it, like we talked about earlier, it's it's a low amount a month, and if you do want to continue supporting the channel that way, it's very much appreciated.
It is massively appreciated, and I'm just gonna go and grab that doodad here. But yeah, so I mean, we just touched on detachments there. I genuinely thought, Dave, to be honest with you, I thought we would probably only get like 3 to 4 detachments tops. So to hear us getting 6.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and within those we've heard from the stream on what a couple of those are, right?
Yes. So do you want to go through all that while I quickly I was
gonna say we know that we got they said on the stream that we are going to they commented on for sure this was the Adepticon preview show, which was good. So that combined with this article, I actually, before I just go into those two, I thought that what they said in the Adepticon video was going to be like, this is what we're going to say, here's our press release, us vocalizing it, and then actually when you combine it with what's in the article, we actually saw some new bits. So they said we are going to get a demons article, demons detachment, which we knew was going to we all knew was going to happen, but it's great confirmation that there is going to be a dedicated Nurgle demons with Death Guard. So I think we can probably safely assume 1,000 points and 1,000 points as a total mix-up, which will be great. It is, you could imply from that as well that the likelihood is are we going to be able to mix in demons without that? We'll have to wait and see.
Quick note down on that before you continue. I just want to point out as well the wording. If you look at the World Eaters one, when they say you can field legions of bloodletters, bloodthirsters, and more alongside your conic berserkers, and then in the Thousand Suns one, down here it says you can field rules for flamers, screamers, pink and blue horrors, a lot of change in Kairos Fate Weaver. Ours just says also joined by Nurgle's demons, so I reckon we actually might just be, because Nurgle demons actually have the lowest amount of demons in general. We don't have chariots or anything like that. So I genuinely think you like beasts, Nurglings, plague drones, plague bearers. The only thing that we might not be able to use might be like the snail, but I don't even think they're going to get rid of the snail. But everything else is kind of like, because the plague bearers need like the heralds really to work. That kind of like makes them better. So I don't honestly think we're gonna like lose many of our demons. Whereas like a lot of the chariots have got cut. And it's just, I just wanted to point out, it's interesting how they phrased it.
It is, and we've talked about this before. That how I think lore-wise, Death Guard and the Nurgle demons feel much more kind of integrated. I think as within the factions. So that was that. And the second one that they commented on was just saying that, and I think once again we all hope for this, and this is definitely on the bingo card, is unending poxwalkers. And their words were unending hordes of poxwalkers. So our Terminus Est hope sounds like it's going to be confirmed, and we are going to be able to just build relentless hordes. So very much looking forward to it. And
I'm also extremely happy because I was worried the Flyblown host they might see as like the Poxwalk attachment, because like
I was wondering if that would be the case.
So to know that is not the case, that is really nice. So we're gonna obviously still get our Terminus S style attachment now. Obviously, so on the screen right now is the front cover. I fucking love it. Typhus is my favorite character.
I love it too.
I think it nails it. Like it's scary, Death Guard. I think like I don't
Scary.
the
Yeah.
original 8th edition Death Guard Codex with the guy with the tentacle arm looked a bit goofy, like a bit comical. This is like more like, okay, this is actually like kind of scary. Like this is
It's just
like
wading. I mean, look, if you look down there, right, it's just like, bodies and him just standing on a pile of them, just like holding his scythe casually with all this smoke puffing out. And yeah, it looks awesome.
it does. Yeah.
I really, really like it. I think it looks really intimidating and really aggressive. Like the scythe just looks so overly big and just like ridiculous. It's awesome. The other thing I was just going to call out on this was if you scroll to the bottom of the article as well,
Yeah.
because this was also rumored, and it just kind of we got confirmation just below the collector's editions.
Oh yeah.
Where it says, as recently updated, Index Chaos Demons has all the options you'll need to play the demonic army. This does mean there will be no dedicated Codex Chaos Demons this time around.
Yes.
So, just another one in case anyone got too excited and didn't read to the bottom. They have confirmed that we will not see a Demons Codex.
However, I think this actually plays into the theory that we had that they were intending to drop the demons completely, and then when they actually saw the amount of like pushback and like the passion from the player base for Death Watch, which is a smaller player base than demons, I think they've actually gone, you know what, this was a mistake. And if that is the case, I actually respect them for changing their mind. Because a lot of companies actually, I'm not shilling. GW do a lot of stupid things, but this one, I'll give credit where credit's due. If they genuinely noticed this was a bad mistake, let's undo it, and they'll get a Codex next edition. Excellent, because no one should have the Codex panned. Talk about these Codexes though, Dave. Woo!
Yeah, let's have a look at these. These are awesome. I think the thing I liked as well, if you watch the Adepticon stream, it's right at the end or near the end. Like I thought these covers were going to be quite like relatively thin. And when he pulls it off, they look like they're just made of like huge bits of kind of board. They're like they come apart really well. I'm very excited to look at these. And I think they said there's 3 things in there. You've got the Codex, you've got an art book, and then I think we've got the kind of index cards, and then the special objective markers, and then of course the one of 4 parts of the overall coin made up of each god's section. So I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really gonna try and get.
By the way, we are not sponsored anyway by Games Workshop. We genuinely like them.
No, I genuinely like. It's collector stuff for Death Guard. I'm all over that. So I'm gonna really try and get my hands on one of these things because they're really, really cool. And I just want to flex with it. I'm not gonna lie. I like how you crack it open like that as well.
Yeah,
to get the stuff out. So excited for that. Now we will. Don't worry, we're not done talking about the Death Guard detachments because I do want to like.
Rocky in chat. Hey Rocky, how you doing? By the way, Rocky says R.I.P. wallet.
Yes. R.I.P. wallet, indeed.
Yes, I will sacrifice you up to the god.
So coming back to the book over here. So obviously we've got our 6 detachments plus Grotmus. Grotmus is not included in the Codex. It is an addition to the Codex. So the reality is we have 7. So let's have a quick little brainstorm of what we could potentially get. So we know from what he said there, we're going to get a Terminus S style with heavy poxwalkers. We're obviously going to get a demon detachment. So that's 2. Now we're going to keep Plague Company. It'll probably be changed, but most books have kept their index attachment. They've just renamed it, changed a few things around. It will not keep the super contagions, I'll tell you that right now. But it'll be like a sort of generic. It'll be a generic attachment, really, more. So we know we're gonna get.
Refuse to let it go.
Yeah, so we're probably gonna have like 3 there. So 3. So we still got 3 entire ones. So like, what do we have?
Demon engine.
We could have like a vehicle, vehicle sort of style attachment.
Plague Storm.
Plague Storm. It's got to be a Terminator attachment, surely, isn't there?
I would hope so. I think that, especially with Typhus our boy on the cover. I'm hoping there's a nice one in there.
I reckon it's got to be something. But then again, like I still kind of think what the last one could be. Like,
did you said demons?
Yeah. We said demons. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what could it even be? Like are we gonna have like? Imagine if we had like some gardening mechanic where we can literally grow a garden.
I think maybe a kind of a plague dicey, like maybe more. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it'll be more themed around the contagion range thing, like we talked about. Perhaps it will be that the contagion range turns into this debilitation of movement of abilities, like knocking our opponent's abilities off, etc. Just making you go. You got to stay outside of 12. Basically, that would be. That I mean, I don't know what we would ever call it, or if it was it starts at 7 and it doesn't get bigger. You've got to stay outside of 7 because 7's our number, not yours.
No, quite cool. Maybe we
Something
see.
like that would something like that would be quite fun.
Yeah, maybe we see what you call it. We might even see if you do go like a garden mechanic, like I said, then they could do them where you have to like control half of the objectives in each zone,
Yeah.
like to transform into Nurgle's garden.
Yeah,
Rocky, sustain 2 shooting detachment. That's a
nice
good
one. I
idea.
like
That's
that.
a great idea. You know, how did I ever think of
Thing too.
that? So like the possibilities are genuine. Like the fact we get 6 is way more than I was expecting. I was ready to settle for 4. To hear 6 and keep our Grotmus is I am a
Super
happy. I am a very happy player right now. One thing I did also want to mention on that was so we got a bit more information regarding the Lord of, is it what Poxes? Lord of Poxes?
Yeah, Lord of Poxes.
Lord of Poxes.
Yeah, we did.
Got a little bit more information regarding this fella here. So do you want to take it away, Dave? What did the fellows say about this fella?
So I think we'll jump to the we've got it on the video here.
So
if you play it, will they get the sound?
They should, yeah. So if I put this in,
okay. So what we noticed was that the when the guys talked about it, they showed the Lord of Poxes, and they said that he has got a huge, great plague blade on his back, and I believe we'll hear them say that it's one of the most devastating melee weapons in 40k. So if you could play on that.
See if we can confirm that as a
advance and as a weapon. Yeah, it's horrible, that thing on his back as well. He basically doesn't let enemies too far away from him see him at all. That gigantic sword on his back is a great plague blade. And let me tell you, when I tell it's one of the most powerful combat weapons.
Yeah, I think his exact words are, let me confirm it's one of the most powerful combat weapons in 40k.
Yeah.
And that's on a powered armored Virion, effectively. And they also talked to him. They also talked to him, basically being obscured from his opponents.
Yes.
So it sounds a bit like that. We're potentially reading into it, of course, but that does sound like a lone op to me.
Yeah, I don't think it's stealth, because not only would stealth make it redundant with the fly-blown host.
Agreed.
The way he says it is that because they say he says it makes it harder to see, and then he corrects himself. He says, I'm pretty sure he says something like, it's hard to see. Well, they can't actually see him approaching at all. Which to me is lone up. Like, it might be an 18 lone up, but it's still, to me, that reads as lone up. If this guy is lone up 12, I'll tell you, I'm taking 3 fucking squads of him, and I'm shucking him in rhinos with guys inside, and I was like, cool, have fun coming close to me.
Which is what we want, right? Like, if this guy can help us close the distance, by making his unit difficult to hit, or pumping out a cloud within a distance which obscures those units within it, or makes maybe his unit directly gets lone op, and then if you're within the cloud's range, a bit like a miasmic magnifier effect, then perhaps that gives them stealth. Or something like that, or it makes your opponent they're -1 to hit because they're in this cloud of, crap and poison and plagues. It could be really interesting. I'm really interested to see how that turns out. It's nice to have this other character, but then the bit I'm just really intrigued by is we've got Typhus with his mastercrafted Man Reaper, right? We've got Death Shroud Terminators with theirs. We've got the Lord of Contagion with his flat 3 damage weapon, and you're like, this, and they're talking about this guy having one of the most powerful melee weapons in 40k. I'm like, what does this do?
Yeah,
and why is some guy not in Terminator armor carrying it? It's great. Like,
I'm telling you now, if this guy's considered more powerful than Lord of Contagions melee weapon, I dread to think what this damn thing does. I was thinking at NASCAR, I was thinking like he could be lone up on his own. Like, they could even do something like, hey, he's lone up 12 if you take him solo, lone up 18 if he's with a squad, because it's a bit harder to obscure them all. But they also mentioned that the turbine on his back is a weapon itself. It can attack, a ranged attack. So it'd be quite interesting to see what that does. That'd be quite cool. I think he looks sick as well. We've obviously seen it before, but I'm super excited to get this guy. Unfortunately, it does look like he's going to be coming in a big army box, Mr. Dave, but I don't know if they're on this post, the army boxes. Looks like no. So we do know the Death Guard army box. It's actually pretty damn good.
It's got a PBC in it. It's got a bloat drone in it. It's got the character. It's got the Marines in there as well, which to me says he's attachable, right? Definitely.
That's it. You've just triggered my memory of what I wanted to say. Carry on.
No, go jump in.
So just to finish off, he has a Blight Lords as well. So it's Blight Lords, Hauler, Drone, Marines, this character, and a Plague Scroller, which is actually an amazing start.
Really good collection.
Genuinely, really good.
If you want to start playing Death Guard, and you should, by the way, if you're not, and of course we would say that's actually a really good starter box.
It is,
and it's also a really good fill in the gaps in maybe things you don't have more than one of at the minute.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And if anyone considers buying multiple of them because they want like 2 playable scrolls, etc., like that, but you only want 1 character, let me know because I would very much like to take the character off your hands because I do not need 4 playable scrollers.
Yeah, and what see we might do one of these is if we can get our hands on one via maybe via Will, it might be it might be an extra special. Can open the pack up and see what's in there, and we can talk about it as well as part of the part of the stream. I just want to say, just checking with chat as well. I think I saw Strong Boy say something like, "What did you say? It'd break my tiny little heart," or something.
Oh, if the snail wasn't in the codex.
Yeah, I'm sure they won't. I'm sure they won't pick on you and do that to you. That's not a nice thing to do. Necros, what is it? The turbine lets him blow fat. Did you mean fart clouds or fat clouds at his enemy with his vape pen? Yeah, he's got vape. He's got a giant vape plasma gun. It's not really a plasma gun. It's this giant vape.
That's a vape, is it? Oh, okay, I understand now. Yeah, that makes sense. Rudy, thank you very much.
He sticks it in the mouth. He sticks it in the mouth hole and just.
Thank you very much for the $2 super chat, Rudy. What do you think they'll make? What do you think they'll do to make Plague Bong useful? I don't mean to be the harbinger of despair here, but
Legend it.
I don't think it's going to be very good. So
I tell you what they could do if the plague bong, if you could sacrifice the plague surgeon to it, then that would make it useful.
If you sacrifice a plague since the plague bong, it gives it a 24-inch aura.
It takes off.
It becomes a flying monster. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it basically becomes a Death Strike missile for us.
Oh hell yeah, that sounds pretty cool. But yeah, the one thing I wanted to mention is, interestingly, I don't know if you saw the picture of the actual box there, Dave. All of the plague marines in it are guns.
Oh yes.
There is the sergeant.
Good point.
There is a plague belcher, a blight launcher, and the rest of them are all bolters. Now, I'm not saying that means anything because that is genuinely something you can build anyway. But in most of the time when they show off the plague marine kit, they want to show off the fancy weapons that makes you want to buy it.
Yes.
But they also want to show off legal units. So I think this could be potentially a hint towards them doing what we thought they might do all along, which is locking the loadouts to a melee and a sort of a range squad. Because we've seen it, we've got like infractors and subductors or whatever they're called. And you know, as soon as this is a normal access, it kind of makes it easier to sort of balance it out. So I could see that happening. I think that might be an initial point towards it potentially. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think they're definitely at least hinting that Plague Marines will come in, you know, potentially shooty versus melee. I think we'll need to see. Like I said, they could just be modelling them because lore-wise we're quite good at just, you know, kind of we're marching towards the enemy, putting down consistent fire and stuff like that. So, or you know, it could be that bolt guns are suddenly going to become a bit more interesting, which also could be good. The other thing I was going to say was, well, do you want to jump up to? Hang on a second, Nat. What's that? You hope so? Dave will have to paint another. What are you lot?
Someone said, "What if the plague surgeon is actually good in the codex?" So she's saying, "I hope they are. You'll have to paint another."
Yeah, well, if he is good, I'll probably have to. Scroll up to just because we skipped over them. Scroll up to the T-Suns. Because I think the only other thing to talk about which is interesting for them, is their new robot. Which I don't know if you thought this as well. That you saw the chat. You're obviously in the VT chat as well. We were talking about the paint job on that model, weren't we? Or people were in the chat about whether that was the best way to have shown that model off. Potentially not. But I think more importantly, because it's about play and what's in there, is I mean, those to me look like las cannons.
Yeah, they look like some form of like heavy hitting firepower. Which is some of that. Now they've already said they've got warp fire missile racks, which is nice to have. They said they can take heavy warp flamers, melters. One thing they mentioned. Obviously there might be more in there, but I am. And they're also supposed to be vehicles, so I can see these things being like T8 or so. I think these are
Sentinels.
Okay, so I think the paint job does a disservice to this model. It looks like, because like if you look on the arms and stuff, there's like trim. You can see trim, but they just coloured it the cream colour. It's like they run out of time to paint the things. The one thing, and again, no disrespect to the artists, you're still a way better painter than I'll ever be. But for me, the only thing I don't understand, I think is the GW style, because they've done all this weathering work to make them look like these dusty old robots, which is really cool and really well done. But the problem is then like the black bits on the back are pristine, and it doesn't make sense. You wouldn't just have just rusty plates, but everything else be pristine on you. So
those silver pipes would all be like it shouldn't be rusty, but it could definitely be faded or like sandblasted a bit or something.
yeah, I think if this model was less cream and just more the traditional blue and yellow, and then gold trim that we're used to for Thousand Suns, I think a lot of people would have resonated. Because the problem is, on all the pictures when it's next to those Thousand Sun models, it just looks odd because it's cream and they're all blue.
I think it's also I think there's also a really simple explanation to it. Is like you said, it's no disrespect to the artist who did this, but if you it's a very delicately gold trimmed on a lot of the armor on top of cream that's photographed on white.
Yes.
So the reason you can't see anything is because the white background is bleeding out all of the color and all the light that's bouncing off those light colors as it is. So I actually think it's probably very cool, but we just can't appreciate it in that photo.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the Thousand Suns players have been a little bit unfair, like, because they have actually genuinely just gotten a new unit, like, not a character like the rest of us, so that's pretty awesome. They've got a new unit, and it's a different unit. It's a vehicle. It's technically their vehicles. It gives them potentially some good shooting firepower that isn't all just psychic related, which is nice. It starts to make a bit of a gap be filled in their codex. Not going to fill it entirely, but it's nice, and it's good to see them get some unique units, because it's the thing that we need to see for the Godlings. We need these unique units coming in, and
Yes, we do.
yeah, I mean, it's not my thing, but like, I don't like Thousands. Like, Thousands are my least favorite out of all the Godlings. Just don't like the aesthetic for it. So like, it will never be my thing. That's no insult to anyone who designed it or painted it. Like, that's just not my aesthetic. Like, totally understand that. It's not a bad thing. It's just how I like the stuff. I like rotty stuff, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But
Aiden, do you know what my aesthetic fan kind of thing is? And that is how these look.
Oh, those are nice, Dave. What are those?
Yeah, these are Baron of Dice, actual disgustingly resilient dice with the brass copper kind of inlays on all the numbers. With they have the kind of bone green kind of main color, and they are up and available for sale. So you can check out Baron of Dice. There's a link in the bottom to go and check those out. But just want to say that we've actually got some of them now and been looking at them. They are great, and thank you to everyone who's bought them already. You've the exact words of Charles, who runs Baron of Dice, said they flew. And the first lot that they actually got in, he didn't airship in the whole lot, because he basically wanted to just make sure that they weren't kind of bringing in too many, and then that all disappeared. He said he was planning on taking them to Adepticon, to their stand there, and he was like, we didn't have any left in the store, like, in the warehouse, like, because your lot bought them all. So yeah, if you have got them on back order, they are coming, and if you do want some, do get a back order in, because they're selling out. So yeah, just wanted to share, if anyone who hasn't seen them yet, that the dice are here and they are super cool.
Yeah, that's excellent. And one thing I wanted to point out as well from something they said also on the Thousand Suns is they mentioned, and someone mentioned in the chat as well, there's a detachment all about vehicles for Thousand Suns. Now, that's because they specifically said these guys are good in it. Now, here's the thing. They would not make a detachment and just have these and like rhinos, which means to me that Thousand Suns are not losing either their predators or their forge fiends and stuff like that. They're going to keep
the bandwidth of other vehicles otherwise.
Yeah, and we won't make a detachment just for these robots. So I think when we saw the Emperor's Children Codex, there was a lot of doom and gloom about us losing all of them. This puts me in mind a little bit easy. I don't think we'll keep everything, but I don't think it's going to be an automatic, hey, this is a CSM unit, you don't get it anymore. Because they have to have enough functional units to make that detachment work, and 3 units of robots is not going to do it. So I actually am okay for that. Like, so that's kind of a cool sign that we can probably potentially take to our Codex. So that's nice. That's good to see. I think the last sort of thing we got to talk about now is we've obviously got the Space Wolves coming out, and we'll have a quick touch on them, but not too much.
That was a surprise, wasn't
it? Yeah, tell me about it. Space Wolves out of nowhere, quite literally. But one interesting thing we've seen is, like, we know in the roadmap we've seen what they put is the words now, and then there was us, World Eaters, Thousand Suns, and Space Wolves. What does now mean, though, Dave? Realistically,
that's a really good bit. I mean, I think GW's now probably means this quarter or within a 3-month window. I think that's how they tend to. If you look at how the data slate cycle works, I think that's their now window. So I would say that within that we're still going to get a huge amount of drops basically within that space. If you look at what was listed under that, there was were there 3 or 4?
Yeah, there was 4. There's 4. And
yeah.
Then after that,
Space Wolves. Now the Space Wolves have done an elbow drop off the top rope into the middle of the Chaos Legions.
I will say these Space Wolves do look real good. I'm not gonna lie.
They look great.
They keep the original character of it. They're just Primarisified. And what I really like about these guys is that they've gone away from the Wolfie McWolferson stuff. They look like Space Vikings again, which is cool.
They do, which is great.
It's not like weird Wolfie.
Have a look. Yeah,
always chicken. No, Aiden. No. Yes. Not yes.
Space Wolf Secret Chaos Legion. Exactly. I think so. Is that Anarchy? Anarchy said, yeah, they also said Fulgrim beats Angron 3 times, but I think what they also said is because he gets fight first. If without fight first, Fulgrim doesn't beat everybody first time.
Nah, don't worry. There'll always be marketing speak. There's always going to be marketing speak.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
And also, they've got to sell they've got to sell all that Emperor Children stock, so Fulgrim wins every time.
Exactly, but if the weapon of that guy is even close to Lord of Contagion, even if it's just Lord of Contagion, like if it is 8-3, if it ends up being 8-2-3, that's still a really good weapon. There's still a really, really good weapon. So I'm hoping it's more than that, but if it is just that is still more than fine by me. How annoyed is everyone that Space Wolves are coming before Death Guard? Okay, Trent, both yes and no, because I also am looking at this from a Space Wolf player, because we've seen the next bit of codexes being like, it looks like a Salamander's picture and Imperial Fist. Now, if I was a Space Wolf player and an Imperial Fist got a own unique, brand new own Codex supplement before a mainline Space Marine army even got my Codex, I'd be pretty fucking pissed. So I'm actually not upset if the Imperial Fist of the Salamanders came out before we did, I would 100% be annoyed. I'd be like, seriously guys, like we are the main Chaos Legions and we're not even getting a book before the minor ones. But I'm fine. Like Space Wolf's coming out. I'm fine with it. I think it's cool. And then that's the thing now.
Good for the game.
It is good for the game because once these are out and once we are all out, all of the main Space Marine legions, all of the dedicated ones, the ones that aren't chapter compliant, the God aligned legions, are out then. So the majority of like the work is done. Then it's getting out some Xenos factions, and then it kind of like opens up again to like the sort of like what's coming now phase. And that's exciting. That is exciting because right now I wish this bulk of like the main the game has a lot of Space Marines in it, and I wish this bulk was done a lot earlier so we get all that stuff out and get playing with it. But look, I've been waiting, and Dave, you've been waiting for this now for like almost a year and a half. Like, if we're all coming out in the next 3 months period, I don't care if the Space Wolves are the first month and I'm the third month.
Yeah,
I've waited long enough at this point. Like those people can be happy they're getting the Space Wolves. Awesome, they can boss with that. I know mine's coming, and that is all I care about right now, and that is all I'm going to focus on because I am super excited because we just know we are the now. We are no longer like last time we had a reveal show. We were the coming next. Now we're the now, and it feels good to know that we are. Because I mean, like let's think, Dave. If we look at the Eldar and the Guards release, they like just bam bam week after week.
Yeah. It could. We generally don't know what could happen next Saturday. They might go. Or bear in mind, there's a second Adepticon reveal tonight. I think they said it's on the 26th. Yeah, so I'm sure they said they were doing reveals on the 26th and the 27th. If that's the case, we might get, there could be more details about other things tonight. But equally, next Saturday they might go. Here's a Warcom article. Here's the release dates for the for the codexes, and they're going to be bam 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 like you said. So all
we know, this Sunday's next week's pre-order article could be the Space Wolves, or it could be World Leaders. We just like GW. It's going to come out when it comes out. All I care about is it's coming out. Now I know we're going to.
Your point is we're in the now.
Yeah, we're in the now. We know we're getting 6 attachments, which is an amazing amount to get, given like Tau only got 4. We're getting 6. Yeah, and this is the thing, people know what's going to be out. If you're into your Poxwalkers, you now know there is a dedicated Poxwalker detachment with
and if you want Poxwalkers, go and start hoovering some up, because
if you want Poxwalkers, go and buy the Combat Patrol while it still exists.
Go and get the Combat Patrol.
Because that Combat Patrol is not going to be around. So if you heard the words Endless Poxwalkers and like, oh, that sounds fun, go buy that Combat Patrol.
Yeah.
Go
do that.
You go pick that up right now. Time moves differently in the warp. It sure does, Rocky. And we've been sat in the warp for a while. What's a 1 week more in the warp?
yeah. all the legions that were stuck in the warp for a bit, we were stuck in the warp for a very big chunk of it and enduring a lot of horribleness before we came out the other side as we are now. So yeah, we can wait a little bit longer.
It didn't cause us any harm. We just got flies living inside us and horns, and
it was weird to start with, but you know, just like starting a new job.
Yeah, you know, that ringing in your ear. Sometimes it's tinnitus. Sometimes it's literally a swarm of flies.
Sometimes it's plague flies. You know?
Exactly. It's fine. And yeah, so the Grotmus one for Reb is not included in the Codex, so we do actually have 7 in total, because it's the 6 in the Codex and then the Grotmus detachment. And we might even get another one, because they're saying that, you know, every day it's like they're bringing out a couple more. So you could always go up to 8, which should also be awesome. But I mean, I'm happy with these reveals. I think I know some people are upset. They thought like there'd be more for Chaos. Oh, we obviously got the big like. Okay, you want to complain? Like this to me is more like where people should be moaning about this. The Grandmaster Emesis Dread Knight thing. It's an upgrade kit.
Hang on a minute. What did Lachlan call it in the VT chat? Malibu Barbie with a new hat.
Yeah, like this kit was already like contentious when people liked it or not, because it looks like a baby. There's a baby carrier. It's the nickname of it. So to see the baby carrier not only stay, but the fact he got an upgrade kit means it's going to be around for a lot longer. Like that is when you can kind of be annoyed, because you didn't actually get a new model. You just literally got like, you know, a couple extra bits to put on it. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still like the weapons cool. I love flails. Flails are some of the coolest weapons in my opinion. But it is like all you got is an upgrade. You didn't even get a new character. So we genuinely, as Chaos players, shouldn't be complaining about our Lord of Pox or our like Slobon, because they literally could have just said, "Oh, here's an upgrade kit for your I don't know, your like a Predator to give it like a new turret." Like, I don't know, I'd still find that cool. I'd still find that cool, but
it could have been worse.
Yeah, we get like, at least something unique, which is, you know. So again, I don't think you should be upset with your Grey Knight. Like, it's genuinely like the flail's really cool, the mace is cool. They get new metal weapons, so you still get new stuff to play around, and the extra bits do make it look a bit more bearable, like the tabard and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a little.
I can see why. And yeah, like you said, I can see why you'd feel sad next to the Space Wolves kind of announced. But like you said, like Aiden said, that's a whole new army set that's there. It's all new models. It's like it's not a like for like. It isn't a model for a model. You know, so you shouldn't be. Don't be too upset about it. You know, and also they can't give Grey Knights a whole new kind of load of new stuff to add to the army, because you can only ever put 6 models on the table at any point as a Grey Knights player.
Exactly.
So you know what would you do with 10 more units?
So I'm just going to say to Eric in the chat, who put, why is this the year of Chaos? 3 factions of Chaos get 2 characters and 1 unit, and Wolves get 2 characters and 2. Okay, they didn't get units. They got refreshes on the current models. That is not new units. Bloodclaws existed. Wolfguard guy, what are they called? Grey Hunters, they existed.
Yep.
Wolfguard Battle Leader existed. They just got the models updated, which were desperately needed more than we needed new. We did not need more new units more than they needed. Their old ass tiny Marines needed updating. So they actually only got 1 new unit, which was the Headhunters. So actually not true, that one, just saying. But also the thing is, for the past 3 years, I have heard GW use the phrase Year of Chaos. All they mean is this is the period when Chaos are getting a release. That's all it means. It's not the year dedicated to Chaos. It's just, no, this is just the, like, and this is more than we've had most years.
And we've got Emperor's Children. We've got World Eater, the new model, and new...
We've got an entire new faction. We've got Emperor's Children.
And we've got Death Guard with a new model and new Codex. And we've got Thousand Suns with a new model and new Codex. And Demons has been completely reworked to go into each one of those codexes.
And the Demon Index itself got reworked to work on its own.
And there was a new Demon Index created. So, yeah, I think it's quite chaotic.
And 5 new Chaos Demon detachments. Like, it's pretty... Like, okay, so... I don't know if people like also haven't like played Warhammer for as long as we have. Like, you could go genuinely like 2 to 3 years without even getting anything. Like, no update, no models, no nothing, jack shit. Like, this is far more than we're ever used to getting in the past. So I'm actually like, I'm buzzing. Like, and again, I don't care what Space Wolves get. Like, cool, let them be happy. I know I'm getting my book.
Can I tell you what I think? Why also I like the fact that Space Wolves have got this, and why those models look cool as F, and it's because what it means is that when it comes to our turn to get model refreshes, our stuff's going to look super, super, super cool because it's even going to be past this stuff, and the design work is going to get even better. So I'm happy to see GW moving the model sets along in this manner, because by the time it gets to our refresh, it's going to be sick.
I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to real quickly do this just because I need to prove this point to people. So let me just go to here, Armies of Chaos, Death Guard. Let me go find Plague Marines, a Lego Plague Marine kit. And now let me go and find the exact same thing in a new tab. Let me go to Warhammer 40,000. Let me go to Space Marines. Let me go to Space Wolves. Let me go find the... where are they at? Let's have a look for some Grey Hunters or some Blood things. Oh, they're not even like... Oh, look how far down they're buried. There we go. Special Blood Claws. Okay, look. Let's get a perfect prep. There we go. Look at this guy here. Look at this guy at the back. Who needed a new kit more? Us? Or them?
Those boys.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I might have to give this one to the Space Wolf players, because that is the face only a Primarch could love. And
Poor guys.
And here's the thing: if you were someone that loved the Space Wolves and you loved the lore, and then you come to the game and you're looking at all these armies, like these cool ass world eaters over there, these awesome precision, you're like, sweet, where's my army? And you see this. Yeah, it does look like Aiden when his meal comes pre-cheesed. Yeah, that is the face I kind of pull. It's this screaming horror face here. So, everyone in the chat was, we need it more. We are naturally biased as fans of our own faction. And that is also fine. Yeah, look at the hair. These hair is just moi. So, as much as we are, obviously, we want to see stuff for ourselves, we want to see our own units and stuff like that, don't take for granted that we still got a new character, because we could have just got a book. Generally could have just got a book.
Yeah,
I still want to see Plague Havoc.
Yeah.
I want to see Plague Havoc at some point. I want to see like Towers of Pestilence of Nurgle. But right now the game is, and people still forget, the game is still in a transitionary spot where we have to get all the old Firstborn kits to basically Primaris at this point. Including the core units like Vanguard, Death Company, things like that. And don't worry, Blood Angel's got done dirty. That's his own thing. That those models just do not look anyway near as good as these ones. But just remember, some people are still playing models like this, and like Drakari can't even buy half their faction because like the stuff is all like metal and fine cast, and they just stopped making them. So like there is, there's swings and roundabouts to everything, so don't look at it as if we got screwed, because I genuinely don't think we did. We got a book with 6 attachments. That is more than enough to keep me more than excited for this hobby going forward.
And it's just around the corner.
It
so
is.
super looking forward to coming out. It's going to be, and it's just good for the game, right? Like whether it's us getting stuff or whether it's other people getting stuff. If it gets more players into the game or players back into the game, or it just keeps it healthy as it goes. That's fine. If the more times I get to have opponents across the table, whether it's at club or new people that are coming into the hobby that kind of want to learn how to play the game, or actually at tournaments, that's a great thing. I think it's we all want this thing to keep going.
Exactly. That's all we can really ask for. So can we get a side by side pic between Aiden and the U-Watt picture? Maybe next stream I'll get that done for you. So look, yeah, some people haven't even had the Codex announced yet. Some people still don't even know when their book is coming out. So we could have been dead last. So let's. I know, obviously.
Yeah. And we were what? So I started playing about midway through 9th. So there was the DG Codex had all. I think that was early 9th, wasn't it? It was one of the first ones of 9th to come out.
Yes, we were second one in 9th.
Yeah, so there's been such an arc to get then to
Oh, sorry, 9th. We were like 4th, I think.
Yeah, so then you can imagine if we had been the last of 10th.
Yeah.
Like what a horrible kind of time that would have been.
Yeah, and this is the thing, like, and again, we're gonna have people with armies like Drakari who are gonna see Salamanders and Imperial Fist get their own book before you even get yours. Now that is a reason to be upset, and I totally get those guys being annoyed about that one. So let's take it in our stride. Let's be the resilient lot that we are. We're still gonna have an awesome book, 6 brand new detachments. Plus Flyblown still exists for us to play around. I am hyped, Dave, and I know we've got to wrap up soon because obviously time's ticked on and we can't stay on too long.
No, it's all good. There's been so much to talk about. That's why we definitely wanted to come back on. Dax, don't worry about perspective reframing. Like everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Like if you can feel you want to be. We're just one of the things that we do try and come at it from is there'll be times when we are pissed off about stuff, and we'll certainly voice that. But there's, but as a whole, like, I think we, as a, if I can see you're, kind of maybe not a member yet, perhaps you have been, whatever, but we do try and kind of generally look at this, look on the hobby as in like what's the good stuff about it, because there's a hell of a lot that's really good about this hobby and what there is, and yes, there's going to be stuff which really pisses us off, and of course, as we said, you'll hear about that too.
Yeah, 100%. But I think sort of coming towards the end now, so if anyone has watched, I do agree, World Eater players will have more reason to be upset than we do. Like, I genuinely thought they were going to get a second wave. Didn't happen.
There's I mean, obviously I get the feeling that they just like, well, we don't have a load of units anyway. I think we said this before in previous streams. We were hoping that World Eaters would get some new models just to expand the range a bit. But like I said, until we see what the Codex says and how that works, let's wait and see exactly what World Eaters get. I hope for Darren and the guys over on Red Path and that community that they're going to be happy boys when they get their new book. Yeah,
and let's not forget, if Blight Lords become playable, technically that's a unit that we've not been able to play for 2 years, so that's technically a new unit in my books.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, I'm going to like, can't wait to just kind of, I say, open up the tome and be like,
yeah,
pull the dust off and be like, there you are, that's what you look like.
Just to get them out of the box, like, it's been 69 years since I've seen the light.
They're like coming out of cryostasis, like, what year is it?
Yeah. Oh dear me. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like, the Adepticon now, again, the next 3 months. 3 months, I think, is the latest. 3 months is the latest I think we'll watch. But who knows? Maybe we see these books come out quicker than we think.
Everyone's been joking about Plague Surgeon again, saying playable Plague Surgeon. Was playable Plague Surgeon? That was on the bingo card, wasn't it?
It was, yes. Yeah. So people who maybe are tuning in for the first or like only a few times and missed it, we made with the chat. We made a bingo card. For this, I think I actually
big.
I need to see if I got it saved. I know I've got it saved somewhere.
I think it was I think
I got it.
Yeah, so throw it up. We started off with it being a 4x4 grid, and it got a little bit bigger than that.
Definitely. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up, and then Aiden, tell the stream what we're going to do with it when we get to the day of the Great Tome releasing.
The Great Tome. I'm trying to pull it up. I need to change my thing to capture a screen instead. Give me 1 second, chat.
Let me just answer while you're doing that. Let me just answer. So Hugh said, "Oh, Dave, going to put out any Crusade content or updates?" I'll make some more shorts because we're just going into not this weekend coming, because that Sheffield is the weekend after this one. The weekend after that is the next round of Crusade. Just so you all know, Death Guard are undefeated in the Crusade, and a lot of my stuff is pretty powered up now, which is good. And in this round, we've got 2,500 points. There's 3 more games, and the Porphyrion is on the table this round of the Crusade. So yes, I will do a few updates on it, but it's actually been really fun to do it. And the guy who's running it at my club has been working really hard to write huge backstory. We've got channels in our Discord club where he's writing stories and stuff. But just to give you an update as well, how the Porphyrion's done in 3 games that I've bought it, it's currently totaled over 400 damage in 3 games. It's absolutely monstrous. I'm loving it. So I'll let you know how it goes. Goes on. I've actually also got a game against, and I don't want to trigger Aiden on this, but I deliberately asked one of the experienced Orc players in my club to play against Mordaka tomorrow. So I'm taking the list. I'm going to take it to Sheffield against that tomorrow and see how it goes.
Oh, why would you do that to yourself? I will find that link for you. Dave, can you find the link to our dice and post in the chat for us if you can?
Yes, mate.
Someone's just asking, that's all. So as you can see on the screen, this is the bingo card. We'll just quickly go over it very quickly. So this is what we're expected to see. The chat help was made, so we got things all the way from the actual reasonable stuff like transport detachment, infection tokens, and the names you can see after them are the people that suggested them. We got stuff like Chaos Hoops, where it's a rule that the loyalists have, but way harder to do because you're playing Chaos. Uppy Downy, malignant, blah blah blah. No one cares. I was trying to make it work. Poxwalker respawn strat, which we might actually get because endless tides of Poxwalkers. Out of War says it's shit. It's still one of my favourite ones. So we've got lots of things on here. This will be fun. So when we get it, we're gonna have we're going to be bringing in the Codex, and when we're going to review it, we're going to do it with a bingo card, and we're going to see how many points we can actually score, which is going to be awesome. Technically, no, Mike, we're not counting it because it's not in the Codex, but we shall see. We'll see. What have we got here? I'd be up to listen to some long form content if you guys are looking for content ideas in the short term. What do you mean in terms of long form content? Do you mean like quite long hour videos or something like that? Is that what you mean? I'm not too sure what you got that far. Aiden, you going to the Glasshammer Teams event in September? I haven't planned that far. Maybe. We'll see. I know I'm at the one in Cardiff in like 3 weeks, but that's all I've actually got planned right now. We'll still see. We shall see. And obviously London, I'll be there at London, obviously.
I don't know if the link is. I don't know if YouTube's actually going to block me putting that link in. I don't know if everyone can see it. If not, what we'll do is we'll just update the. It's on the homepage. It's on our community homepage, isn't it?
Oh no, it works. It works. Yeah, it works. YouTube.
Okay, there you go. Great. Yeah,
it. We're good. So yeah.
Good.
But yeah, before we wrap up, anything else to say, Dave, tonight?
No, just thank you everyone. I mean, there was we've still got 164 people watching, so thank you very much to everyone who tuned in for this kind of impromptu one. But there was a lot to cover off. Just we wanted to focus on some of the other things that are happening in the game and some of the other armies, because I know not everyone gets a chance to kind of dredge through all of the information and actually share some share that stuff, or might not be in groups of WhatsApp groups with other people to talk about it. So yeah. Hope it was useful for everyone, really. And yeah, I'll just reiterate what we said at the beginning. Look, like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot to us. It really helps the channel. If you're watching this on repeat, definitely comment, even if it's to say comments for the Algo God, as that will help get the video listed and ranked well.
True.
And I guess we just jump across a couple of our friends and partners and go from there, Aiden.
Yes, I mean, the one thing is, if you're gonna have a brand new codex, you're gonna need to know how to play that codex, and what better way to brush up than getting better at the basics of the game? But where could I go to get better at the basics of the game, Mr. Dave?
You can head on over to Vanguard Tactics, who Aiden and I both play for as a team. If you go down into the description of this video, you'll be able to find some links. They have an academy intake going on. That is a whole, not just a how to start playing 40k, but to go through everything from the movement phase to the fight phase, the charge phase, to how to deploy, to tricks about movement. It's a whole in-depth course of getting better at the game. But there's also on their channel loads of free content, 2 to 3 battle reports a week, even including some kind of old world or Age of Sigmar content as well. But they actually annoyingly streamed exactly the same time as us tonight with a Death Guard game. So I'm going to go back and watch that one in a minute. But yeah, do go and check those out. And if you do want coaching directly from the Death Guard VT coach, Aiden, who's that?
It's you know what? I actually don't like the guy. He's a bit of a knobhead. I don't really want to shout him out, to be honest with you. It's this douche called Aiden.
Yeah, you're right. You probably don't want to learn from that guy. He's not like he's kind of pretty much the best Death Guard player on the planet. But we'll leave that one there. If I need models to play with Aiden, I know Will's not here to kind of talk about it too much, but I think you know where people could get some models.
I do. You can get some models if you're in the UK, at least from the Element Games. We have an affiliate link down below. If you guys use your affiliate link, you get some extra crystals. We get some extra crystals. It just kind of supports the channel. It doesn't necessarily make you purchase any cheaper, but you do get some extra crystals, which is quite nice. And again, supports the channel. So if you are going to purchase something like the new Space Wolf box that I'm definitely not going to go and buy, Natalie.
He is.
Well, let's just put it this way, Dave. I might be going in about to. Have you ever? Do you know what creeping is? When you creep, you gotta go creeping, and you gotta go in your best behaviour and be like, "Hey, do you want me to walk the dog in the morning?" And then, "Do you want me to wash the pot stuff?" I might be having to for unrelated reasons, obviously, Dave. Unrelated reasons, but
of course, completely unrelated. And but I think if you needed to how far to creep, some of the it's probably Soltar Games, our friends who have a disgustingly resilient branded set of full gaming tools, like your 9-inch deep strike markers, checking what round you're in, what contagions you're using, kind of infection markers. You can go and check those out. There's a link below. They have their own website, and you can pick that stuff up there. And once again, that helps the channel out.
You can indeed, but you want to help us out more than anything, just hit the little like button. Do it.
Yeah, just do those things. And the 2 last ones are, if you want to get hold of some Death Guard disgustingly resilient merchandise, go to drpstore.com. They do global shipping, and we get a bit of kickback from that, and it's all manufactured via a company. We don't manufacture any of ourselves. We just get a small kickback from it. and we shared the link in there. Go to Baron of Dice and do check out the fact that we do have disgustingly resilient branded dice. The dice are super cool. Loads of the community have already bought them. They're available for everyone to buy. And oh, great! Prometheus says dice are awesome. Got 50. Yes, mate.
Hell
Perfect
yeah.
timing. They are really, really cool, and we would just love to see people out there rolling those bad boys. Thank you for listening to us shill.
Yeah, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat, Mr. Prometheus. I'm glad you are enjoying your dice. But yeah, that's about it. Obviously, for now, we will keep up our weekly streams, try and get some videos out. But obviously, when the time does come, you can expect this channel to pretty much. I'm going to book like some time off work just to make some videos, try and get them out as fast as possible. It won't be a day one dump. YouTube hates 1 day dump, so it'll be like a detachment like every 2 days or so. Sorry to blue ball you a bit, boys, but I gotta play by the algorithm rules here.
And I think we will, in terms of long form content stuff. Like I could definitely, there'll definitely be some bits of us going through the book, doing some more hangouts, doing chats about combos, ideas, deployments, lists. There's going to be so much to go through. So do hit that subscribe button to find out more about it as we go. We're at 9.21k subs. We are on the push to 10. That is the big cheese number, where our friend Aiden's going to have to eat some cheese. We will definitely do a cheese along stream for that one. And look, just thank you to everyone who supports the channel and keeping us growing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much, guys, for the ongoing support, and we will endeavour to keep bringing you the best and possibly, hopefully, entertaining Death Guard content. We don't want to just sit here and just read rules here. We try and be a bit of a laugh as we're doing it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. For now, we shall catch you all on the next episode, /stream, /whatever it is we decide to do next. Until then, everybody, take care, stay rotten, and we will see you all very shortly. And enjoy some Death Guard radio on the way out. Later, everybody.
In the shadow of decay I rise, typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With nobles rot I lay walls to waste, the reaper's scythe no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds corruption grows in the heart of Adepticon where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In noble's name I spread death with ease. Vessels lost with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, what consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds corruption grows in the heart of Adepticon where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In noble's name I spread death with ease. Vessels lost with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds corruption grows in the heart of Adepticon where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In noble's name I spread death with ease. Vessels lost with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Nightmares howl, the guising walls, whistling tides, new life is born. Knuckles buzzing, a twisted grace, I erase your heart in my am Typhus, reaper of dread. Bow to Nurgle, embrace the dead. The blackened sky we rise, wings of death, clouds of flies. The crag will burn, the pure will fall. Mortarian's wrath will consume them all. Ultimately pride crumbled in the dust. Your emperor's light can't stop the rust. Disease and rot are your final breath. Now kneel before the reaper's death. I am the plague, I am the rot. The end of all that you forgot. You fought for hope, you fought for lies. Now your shining world slowly dies. From the skies I bring despair. Your warriors choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortarius plague, watch his glory dies. The reaper falls to a run of sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. Blue and gold, once proud, once bright, now swallowed whole by endless night. I am decay, and I will feast your chapter falls beneath my feet. Gleaming suns will face my wrath. In every breath, your lungs turn black. Your noble heart, I turn to ash in my shadow. Your hopes will crack. I am the plague, I am the rot. The end of all that you forgot. You fought for hope, you fought for lies. Now your shining world slowly dies. From the skies I bring despair. Your warriors choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortarius plague, watch his glory dies. The angel falls, your honored sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. My crag, what's the truth of the stars? Now lies broken, tainted with my scars. I am your doom, your final breath. Mortarian comes, delivering death. From the skies I bring despair. Your warriors choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortarius plague, watch his glory dies. The angel falls, your honored sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. Buried by my hand. You fall, you fall. My flag is buried by my hand. Through the haze of rot they rise to the fight. Growing machines born of plague's delight. Steel fused with flesh, corrupted and vile. Rolling forth in Nurgle's blessed style. Their engines scream like a tortured choir, belching smoke in unholy fire. The battlefield's alive with rust and disease, a symphony of death in the toxic breeze. The loud quake, hear the engines roar, a deathless tide from the warp's dark core. The battlefield's alive with rust and disease, a symphony of death in the toxic breeze. The ground quake, hear the engines roar, a deathless tide from the warp's dark core. Engines of decay moving through the fray, spreading death and despair with every day. Twisting machines, nightmares untamed, the demon engines burning Knuckles' name. pestilent hum. Rock flies screech as the end has begun. Cursed abominations defying all life. They carve through flesh with their rusted knives. Flamers, crawlers grind the earth below, spewing bile where the dead trees grow. The grotesque forms applied upon man, war-forged horrors in the grandfather's plan. Feel the ground quake, hear the engines roar, a deathless tide from the warp's dark car. Engines of decay rolling through the flames, spreading death and despair with every day. Twisted machines, nightmares untamed, the demon engines burning Knuckles' name. Engines of decay, hear the blade bells toll, in the shadow of despair they take your soul. Unclean, a grotesque fusion of man and machine. Blessed by Nurgle, they thrive on disease, bringing the galaxy down to its knees. The gears grind, the pistons scream, a putrid force that shatters dreams. No mercy here, only decay. The demon engines pave Nurgle's way.